Now, many of you may know the next guest that I'm going to speak to as the top matriculant for 2015. I'm sitting with Andrew Tucker, who achieved amazing results under very difficult conditions. Now, I'm going to chat to him and find out a little bit about what happened in 2015. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no, it's only a pleasure.
Thank you. So, I mean, you're the top matriculant for 2015. How does that feel?
It still hasn't really sunk in yet. But it feels absolutely amazing, and it's like a dream come true.
Absolutely. Now, tell us, I do understand that you had quite a difficult year in terms of getting to the position that you're in now. Can you tell us what happened?
So at the beginning of my matric year, at basically the start of February, I was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And that basically affects your peripheral nervous system and causes muscle weakness in your limbs. So in the space of literally 2 days, I went from being very healthy and running track at my school to being in hospital and struggling to walk, and not being able to use my hands to do basic things like holding a pen and writing my name, or spraying a deodorant can, or even unscrewing the cap of a toothpaste tube. So it was a very frightening time, and it took a long time to recover from all of that.
Absolutely. I can imagine, going from, running and then having to find out that, you can't do a lot of the stuff that you were used to and your fine motor movements. How was that emotionally? I mean, how did you deal with that? And also, what is it that motivated you to go to the doctor for?
Yeah, well, when I first noticed my symptoms when I was running around the athletics track, my legs felt weak. And the first doctor that I went to thought it was just a bit of dehydration. But I knew that what I was feeling was definitely something a lot more serious. And I went back to the same doctor afterwards and said, it's definitely not dehydration. And then I was referred to a neurologist. And the neurologist then diagnosed me with Guillain-Barré syndrome immediately. And then I was put straight into ICU to be monitored. And obviously it caused a lot of emotional stress. And it was especially before my diagnosis, because at that stage I didn't know what was happening, and it just felt like my body was becoming weaker and weaker, and the strength was just slowly sort of draining away.
Of course. And now I can understand, matric is an exceptionally hard year. You really need to go in full force to achieve the things that you did. How was that managing, school and getting the results that you have, which has been remarkable?
Well, it was very difficult because the first term of your matric year, you're covering a big part of the syllabus, and I missed that, and then also bits and pieces of the second term. So, it was extremely difficult, and I just had to sort of at first make my recovery a priority and just put all of my work sort of at the back of my mind. And that was helped by my headmaster at Sachs, who came and visited me and told me make your recovery the priority, and you can always retake matric in 2016 if it comes to that. And that's how I used that as my starting point. And then, after a few weeks, I was feeling slightly stronger, and I realized that, at home I could probably, do 2 or 3 hours of catch-up work every day. My dad went and, photocopied one of my friend's books, and I had a thick pile of notes like this that I slowly had to work my way through, and I just copied down every single note that I'd missed.